the power of the subconscious. Those who look outward dream, those who look inward awaken. Carl Jung once delivered a famous statement that serves as a wake-up call for us all. Those who look outward dream, those who look inward awaken. To him, the human mind is like a massive iceberg floating on the ocean. The small visible part above the water is consciousness, where you store the thoughts, decisions, and memories you can clearly recognize. But the much larger portion, submerged beneath the icy waves, is the subconscious, a vast, mysterious realm holding repressed desires, unresolved emotions, and long-forgotten fears. The subconscious isn't just a storage space for buried experiences. According to Jung, it's also home to archetypes, universal patterns or symbols shared by all of humanity, shaped over thousands of years of evolution. These archetypes are like spiritual DNA, influencing how we think, feel, and act, without us even realizing it. When someone keeps popping into your mind persistently, it's likely they've unintentionally triggered something deep within your subconscious. This isn't a random occurrence or a trick of the brain. Jung believed it's a signal, an invitation from your inner self urging you to acknowledge parts of yourself you typically ignore. For instance, a person who repeatedly occupies your thoughts might embody an archetype, like anima, the feminine aspect in a man's psyche, or animus, the masculine aspect in a woman's psyche. They're not just a specific individual, they symbolize your internal quest for balance within your soul. Moreover, Jung emphasized that we often engage in projection, attributing unacknowledged or unaccepted parts of ourselves onto others. When you're obsessed with someone, it's not entirely about them as you might assume. Rather, it reflects a part of you crying out for recognition. It could be a quality you admire but haven't expressed in yourself, like confidence or creativity, or a fear you're avoiding, like feeling inadequate or dreading rejection. Think about this for a moment. Have you ever noticed that the person you can't stop thinking about possesses something you feel is missing in your own life? Maybe they live freely and fearlessly, while you're bound by rules and expectations. Or perhaps they irritate you with their arrogance, but deep down, you wish you could be that self-assured without admitting it. According to Jung, these thoughts are a gateway to self-discovery. The shadow, facing yourself. The hidden part of your mind. Jung referred to the concealed part of the mind, the part we deny, overlook, or suppress, as the shadow. This is where aspects that don't fit the ideal image you want to project about yourself reside. It might hold fears, like the fear of failure or abandonment, wounds, like the memory of a rejection, forbidden desires, like the longing to be noticed or loved, or even untapped strengths you haven't dared to embrace, like leadership potential or extraordinary creativity. When someone keeps appearing in your thoughts, it might not be because they're inherently significant in your life, but because they've unconsciously awakened a piece of your shadow. They act like a mirror, reflecting things you haven't dared to face. For example, you admire their confidence, the way they walk into a room and command everyone's attention, but you constantly feel small, shy, and hesitant to speak up. They might represent a quality you crave but haven't dared to express, perhaps because you fear judgment or failure. Or maybe you're annoyed by their arrogance, the way they always seem to think they're better than others. Deep down, you might have a similar tendency toward pride, but you suppress it because you're afraid of being seen as selfish or unlikable. Jung believed that strong emotional reactions to others, whether positive or negative, often say less about them and more about you. They're a mirror reflecting your inner self. He argued that we can't become whole unless we integrate our shadow. Ignoring or repressing it only makes it stronger, manifesting in negative ways like baseless jealousy, unexplained anger, or a lingering sense of dissatisfaction you can't pinpoint. But if you dare to confront and embrace your shadow, it ceases to be an enemy. Instead, it becomes a source of strength and maturity. For instance, if you admit that you too want to be noticed like that person, you might start speaking up in meetings or sharing your ideas without fear. When you integrate your shadow, you not only understand yourself better, you live more authentically and fully. Anima and animus, the inner relationship, the journey to self-integration. Jung introduced two crucial archetypes in analytical psychology, anima and animus. These are the gender-opposite aspects within each person, serving as bridges between consciousness and the subconscious, guiding us toward inner balance. Anima, the feminine within men. Have you ever felt an intense attraction to someone without understanding why? It might be your anima, the unconscious feminine aspect in a man's psyche, speaking up. The anima represents emotions, intuition, sensitivity, and the ability to connect with the inner world. When fully developed, it allows men to access their emotions deeply, enhancing empathy, creativity, and their understanding of women. But when immature, it can wreak havoc on their emotional lives. Imagine meeting a mysterious woman with a strong intuition, captivating you to the point where you can't look away. She seems to understand you better than you understand yourself, as if she can see through thoughts you've never voiced. But in reality, this might not be entirely about her. You could be projecting your anima onto her, drawn to qualities your subconscious yearns for, but hasn't cultivated within you, like sensitivity, the ability to listen to your heart, or free-flowing creativity. You might recall past instances where you were similarly drawn to women with exceptional sensitivity, deep understanding, and something distinctly different from those around them. But then, when you entered a relationship, the magic faded. You idealized her, believing she was the perfect archetype, the one to fill your voids. Gradually, you realized you didn't truly know her. You were chasing a shadow from your subconscious, a part of your anima you hadn't faced within yourself. When your anima remains unintegrated, you're prone to intense but chaotic emotions. You might plunge into complicated relationships swept away by passionate infatuation, yet unable to control your feelings. You idealize the other person, placing them on an unrealistic pedestal, only to feel disappointed when they can't meet your expectations. But when you recognize that the anima isn't just an external image, but a part of you, everything shifts. You stop blindly chasing those external figures. Instead, you cultivate feminine qualities within yourself, like intuition, sensitivity, and emotional awareness. You might try journaling to better understand your feelings, meditating to connect with your inner world, or simply learning to listen to others without rushing to fix things. Then, while you may still be drawn to beauty and mystery, you no longer idealize or overburden others with expectations. You see them for who they truly are, not projections of your unfinished self. You learn to love without clinging, connect without depending, and most importantly, you find peace within yourself. A man with a mature anima doesn't shy away from empathy. He listens, understands others' emotions without needing to control or dominate, and values women not for fitting his desires, but for their unique, independent selves. Animus, the masculine within women. Conversely, if a woman feels powerfully drawn to a man who's strong, visionary, and resolute, it could be a sign of her animus, the unconscious masculine aspect in a woman's psyche. The animus embodies decisiveness, intellect, and confident control. Picture meeting a man with a commanding presence. He walks with assurance, speaks with clarity, and seems to master every situation effortlessly. There's an inexplicable allure, not just in his looks or style, but in his decisiveness, intelligence, and the potent energy he exudes. You look at him with admiration, perhaps even feeling small in his presence. But as the relationship deepens, you notice yourself starting to rely on his qualities. You seek his guidance, expect his protection, and feel something missing when he's not around. When the animus is immature, it can lead women to dependency, searching for wholeness outside themselves rather than within. You might lean on him for decisions, safety, or validation of your worth. Yet, when your animus matures, everything transforms. You no longer fall for the allure of dominating, powerful men. Instead, you discover strength within yourself. You don't need someone to chart your life's course because you've forged your own clear vision. You learn to say no when necessary, set boundaries, and defend your rights without fear of displeasing others. And something fascinating happens. Your tastes evolve. You're no longer captivated by men who are overwhelmingly assertive or commanding. Instead, you find yourself drawn to those who are gentle, meticulous, and organized. Men who don't prioritize career or power above all else, but relish precision, order, and a balanced pace of life. You see beauty in their stability, patience, and subtlety. The man who stirs your heart isn't the one who leads or controls, but the one who's calm, dedicated to his work and personal life, with a rich inner world he doesn't flaunt. What does this mean? It's a sign that your animus has matured. You no longer seek strength externally because you've cultivated it internally. You don't need a man as a crutch because you stand firm on your own. Attraction shifts from surface power or dominance to refinement, discipline, and soulful depth. In this state, you enter relationships not out of admiration or a desire for shelter, but from equality, a resonance between two free individuals. You're unafraid to stand alone, make decisions, or seek your animus externally. You know your worth, trust yourself, and don't need anyone else to affirm it for you. Synchronicity. When the universe speaks meaningful coincidences, beyond the concepts of the shadow, anima, and animus, Jung introduced a captivating phenomenon: synchronicity, meaningful synchronicity. These are events that seem random, unlinked by typical cause and effect, yet carry profound significance, as if the universe or your subconscious is sending you a message. Have you ever experienced a strange moment like this? You think of someone, a long-lost friend you haven't contacted in years, and moments later they text or call you. Or you keep seeing their name on a billboard, hear someone mention them in a random conversation, or notice a number, song, or image tied to them recurring throughout your day. According to Jung, these aren't mere coincidences. They're synchronicity, meaningful signs, like an invitation to delve into your soul and uncover lessons yet to be learned. Jung believed that synchronicity often emerges at pivotal moments in your life, when you're undergoing a major transition, need guidance, or your subconscious is trying to bring something from the shadows into conscious light. For example, you're wrestling with a big decision, like whether to switch jobs, and suddenly spot an inspiring quote online. Don't fear change. You may lose something good, but you'll gain something greater. It's exactly what you needed to hear at that moment. Or a friend you haven't thought of in years pops into your mind, and the next day they reach out to catch up. Instead of dismissing these occurrences as random, Jung urged you to reflect. Why is this happening right now? What does it reflect within me? Synchronicity is like an inner mirror, showing you what you're projecting onto the external world. If someone keeps recurring in your thoughts, or you repeatedly encounter signs related to them in reality, it might not be a fluke. It's a nudge from the universe or your subconscious, prompting you to pay attention to something vital, a lesson, an emotion, or a part of yourself you need to confront. Decoding the subconscious message. 3 steps to understand yourself. If someone persistently occupies your mind, don't brush it off as random or a pointless obsession. See it as an opportunity to explore yourself through these 3 simple steps. 1. What are your emotions? How do you feel each time you think of them? Emotions are the key to unlocking hidden parts of your subconscious that your conscious mind hasn't yet grasped. Admiration. They might possess qualities you long to develop in yourself, like confidence, creativity, or authenticity. Irritation. They could reflect something you unconsciously reject in yourself, like arrogance, selfishness, or fear of judgment. Intense attraction. They might represent your anima or animus, a part of you needing integration to become whole. Pay attention to your emotions. They're like a compass guiding you toward what you need to explore. 2. What aspect of you do they represent? Ask yourself, what do they embody that I want but haven't achieved? Freedom, courage, or the ability to connect with others, perhaps? What fear do they trigger in me? Failure, rejection, or not being good enough? What part of myself have I forgotten that they remind me of? Maybe stifled creativity or emotions you're afraid to express? Instead of fixating on them, view them as a mirror reflecting your inner world. They're not the center of the story. You are. 3. Action. Transform yourself. This isn't about changing them or controlling your thoughts. It's about transforming yourself. Once you grasp the message your subconscious is sending, you can work with your shadow, accept the parts you've denied. If you're jealous of their success, acknowledge it and turn it into motivation to grow. Develop missing qualities. If you admire their confidence, step out of your comfort zone, speak up in a meeting, or try something new. Let go of the obsession. Once you learn the lesson they bring, they'll stop dominating your mind. Their presence will fade as you find answers within. Conclusion. It's all about you discovering yourself through others. Carl Jung once said something profoundly insightful. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. When you understand your subconscious, you gain control over your thoughts and emotions instead of letting them steer you blindly. The next time someone lingers in your mind persistently, don't ignore it or try to chase them away. Treat it as an invitation to explore your inner world. Those who keep recurring in your thoughts aren't just random characters in your life's story. They hold the keys to your personal growth, helping you see yourself more clearly, revealing what you desire, what you fear, and what you could become. Our minds are like treasure maps, with every thought and feeling a path to self-discovery. So take a deep breath. Listen to the voice deep within and uncover what your subconscious is trying to tell you. You might be surprised to find that the answer doesn't lie with them. It's always been within you. If this journey resonates with you, share it with those around you. And if someone pops into your mind while reading this, send it to them. Perhaps they're going through the same thing, and this is the sign they need to start their own exploration. See you in the next journey, where we'll continue delving into the mysteries of the human mind.